Hello and welcome to the second edition of Music Scene SDTV, brought to you by Music TV Network, Intertalk Media, and local Umbrella Media, who takes care of the print side of things. So we're going to dive right into the news here. I'm going to make the announcement that this year's Lifetime Achievement Award winner for the San Diego Music Awards, taking place August 24th at Humphreys Concerts by the Bay, is Jerry Rainey, legendary guitarist for a zillion bands from the Roosters to Glory to the Beat Farmers. Jerry's having a particularly good year, not only because he's winning this wonderful award, but also because his band, the Beat Farmers, is having a wonderful series of reissues through Blixa Sounds, a label from Los Angeles. Tales of the New West just came out in a reissued version, and Glad and Greasy is next up, coming out in July. Meanwhile, on July 2nd, if you happen to be in Lahaina, Hawaii, be sure to check out a new exhibit at the Hall Gallery. It's an exhibit of Ruby Mazer, legendary graphic artist who did the tongue and lips logo for the Tumbling Dice single by the Rolling Stones back in the 70s. He's having a display of new artwork, and the featured artist that night is going to be, the featured musical guest that night is going to be Chris Leva and the Falling Doves. Chris Leva recently received a tattoo on his arm of Ruby Mazer's Lips and Tongues logo, making Chris the most unique Rolling Stones related collectible out there today. Coming up on July 3rd, Chloe Lou and the Littles will be playing a special show at the Green Flash Brewery from 4 to 6 p.m. That's in advance of them going in to record the follow-up album to 2019's EP, Storybook. I also want to point out that the Museum of Making Music in Carlsbad has recently reopened. The entire floor plan has been redesigned, reformatted, new displays. It's all new. The museum specializes in sound and instruments, so it's a little bit different, but they have wonderful displays, including a terrific Beatles display and a wonderful setup of Hal Blaine's drums. Hal Blaine, of course, being the legendary drummer who played on hundreds of hits, from Elvis to the Beach Boys to the Carpenters to Streisand. Don't miss that. You've heard of Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, possibly even Hamilton, Joe, Frank, and Reynolds. Now there's a new supergroup in San Diego called, let me get this right, Keneally, Grano, Nash, and Lee. That's Mike Keneally of the Frank Zappa Band and Andy Partridge fame, drummer Larry Grano, who played with the Steely Damned and Four Eyes, bassist Rick Nash, who you've heard with the Soul Persuaders and Eve Sellis, and Ronnie Lee, who played with legendary punk band Venus and the Razorblades. The band is brand new. Don't know if they're going to record. Hopefully more gigs are ahead. But in the meantime, you can catch Mike Keneally out on the road with the Zappa Band from August 5th through September 11th, opening for King Crimson. The Mystery Machine is the latest band from San Diego circa the 1980s to be having a major resurgence right now. They only lasted approximately 3 months, playing 3 gigs and recorded a handful of tracks, but they have an EP reissue coming out on Drasolite Records from Spain. The record comes with 4 art prints, liner notes by Mike Stax, colored vinyl, and incredible cover art by Darren Grealish. Highly, highly collectible. You can get that in stores now. The band, The Mystery Machine, of course, would split up soon afterwards and go on to form a multitude of other well-known bands, including the Telltale Hearts, the Shambles, the Nashville Ramblers, and others. Don't miss the CP. It's going to be very, very collectible. A new music night is taking place at Navajo Live, kicking off June 27th. This is a very special evening dedicated to the artists and performers that are featured in the pages of the San Diego Troubadour. As such, bands that are on the cover will generally be included. It's a $5 cover charge starting at 6:30, and the first band playing will be June 27th, Dave Preston and the Grown-Ups. In tour news, Platinum Hitmakers, O-Town, featuring Poway's Jacob Underwood, head out on tour this summer. The road trip kicks off July 9th in Pittsburgh, PA, wrapping up December 11th in Los Angeles. The band's most recent album, the O-Town album, was issued via Pacific Records located in Point Loma. And finally, in tour news, rockers POD celebrate the 20th anniversary of their album Satellite with a tour and a reissue. On September 3rd, the band will release a digital version and 2 CD version of the classic album, featuring numerous outtakes, demos, and live tracks. The band then heads out on a 2-month-long tour starting August 13th at Sturgis, South Dakota, wrapping up October 7th at San Diego's downtown House of Blues. Don't miss it. In upcoming release news, new and worthy albums include R&B artist Elise, who has a release show for her latest disc, Hustlers Need Love 2, at Queen Bee on June 30th. Meanwhile, there's also my favorite album of the year, Tamar Burke's The Restless Dreams of Youth. This is wonderful indie power pop, moody alternative rock, catchy as heck. Definitely something you need in your collection. And another great album that's coming out in the next month or so is guitarist Peter Sprague's Copenhagen Mist. The man never misses, always wonderful playing. Don't want to miss that album as well. And I want to point out that we have a new single coming out from SDMA winner Colin Klein with a new song called Within Hindsight. Looking forward to his next album. Colin lives in Scotland at this point in his career, but he did take home 2 San Diego Music Award trophies, so he counts. And then I'm going to wrap this whole thing up by pointing out that Wayne Riker, 2017 San Diego Music Award Lifetime Achievement Award winner, boy, that's a mouthful, has released a new album called The Beatles Overture A to Z. It's a wonderful album-length medley of Beatles tracks played as only Wayne Riker can play such a thing. The album is only available from him directly, so you're going to have to contact him via Facebook or his website, but it is a worthy addition to your collection. If you're a Beatles fan, you need it. If you're a fan of great guitar playing, you need it. If you like Wayne Riker, you got to have it. Don't miss out. Hello and welcome to Music Scene SDTV. So we're now several episodes in, and I want to let you know that part of the reason for this show is that we not only want to highlight the local music performers and the singer-songwriters, et cetera, but also the people that are behind the scenes a little bit. However, that explanation does not actually apply to our first guest today, who is Lori Wilson from the original Starfires, a great new band that had its roots back in the Midwest, back to the early 1960s. So tell us a little bit about the band, Lori.
The band, the Starfires was
Yes.
the beginning of the band that Howard Blank was supposedly in.
Right.
Okay. And but anyway, so it's a great band from the 60s. We've revived the 60s rock sound.
Okay.
Do you want to know the people in the band? Or do you
Well,
wanna...
I mean, we can point that out that the band is truly an all-star band in that it's got a lot of musicians that were stars in the past. For example, Eli Holland is the lead singer, one of the 2 lead singers, right?
Yes.
And he worked with Peter Baumann from Tangerine Dream, had a turntable hit in the 80s with
The Strangers in the Night.
Frank Sinatra's
Frank
song,
Sinatra,
right?
right.
And Lori B.B. Lewis, who will be a guest a little further on down in the sessions, was in the Mamas and Papas.
Right. She
Right.
sang with them for 8 years.
For 8
as a
years,
matter
and
of
she
fact,
was
yeah.
also in the Buckinghams.
The Bucking. Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we've got an all-star band. And how did this record come out? I see that it's got a number of covers: "Precious and Few," "Time Won't Let Me," "Respectable," as well as new originals. My favorite song on here is "Fly Me Away."
Fly Me Away. Eli Holland wrote that song. It's a great one. How did it come about? Well, we just wanted to get started and go, and Pacific Records signed us, so we were really happy. Then
Now-
we got a manager.
You found
We found a manager at a record deal, so we were like, let's do it.
typical rags to riches story.
Rags to riches story.
Now, unfortunately, the bad news is that this album came out just before the pandemic lockdown. So there was no chance to celebrate its release, et cetera. However, that's going to be taken care of on September 11th at the Star Theater in Oceanside, when the original Starfires are going to promote this new album with a killer show that also includes Cannibal and the Headhunters.
Yeah.
But more importantly, and the one that really impresses me is that Larry Tamblyn of the Standells will also be there
it's gonna be
singing his
awesome.
hits, "Dirty Water," "Some Guy, Good Guys Don't Wear White,"
Yep.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's going to be a pretty impressive show, September 11th at the Star Theater in Oceanside.
Unfortunate date, but
Yeah,
everyone
when
will
you-
remember that.
Yeah, so it's hard to forget that date. So, well, now I want to bring out our next musical guest here, and that would be the singer Casey Hensley, who is up for a San Diego Music Award this year, I believe. And she's going to be here to talk a little bit about her new album, or her album, Good Is Gone. And so, Casey, come on down.
Hi,
Hi, welcome, Casey.
good to see you.
Good to see you as well. So now tell me a little bit about this album. How has it done? Has it been picked up around the world?
Oh yeah, it's gotten worldwide recognition, which, I couldn't be more happy about, and I couldn't ask for more, especially because it came out right before the pandemic.
Mhm.
And I was really worried about, how it was going to do, but I put my heart and soul into this record, and it's gotten an incredible response, and I can't wait to just get on the road and tour it, honestly.
Cool. Are you planning to go to Europe, or is it just going to be U.S. touring for a little while?
No, we're going to go to Europe next fall.
Okay.
I was planning on going to Europe fall 2020, and then like everything else, it just fell through. And they didn't want to reschedule for 2021 because they didn't know exactly what was happening. So next year we'll be in Europe, and I'll be playing all over because I miss it. I need it.
Yeah, we all do. We all
Yeah.
do. So let me ask you specifically. There's a zillion genres you could have gone into. You could have been hip hop. You could have been, again, folk polkas. But what drew you to the blues?
I've always really loved blues. My parents were huge blues lovers. The first live show I ever saw when I was a kid actually was Tommy Castro. I was sitting on my dad's shoulders, and I actually got to open for him a couple years ago. So that was kind of full circle. So, and I've always had a really bluesy voice, and I've always loved, soul and jazz and blues and R&B and everything. So it just seemed like kind of an obvious direction to go in.
Okay.
For me.
So let me ask you as well then. You have a killer band. How did you get these guys?
Your guess is as good as mine. No, they're amazing. I've really been really fortunate to work with the cream of the crop, like the best musicians on the planet. Laura Chavez, for instance, is all over this record.
Oh, she's wonderful.
And she, helped me put this record together. She co-produced it with me, and it was just, I can't say enough good things about Laura. She's incredible. And, Evan, of course, played with his mother for a really long time. And
Evan's the drummer?
The drummer, yes. And so, all just very seasoned, great, incredible players that I have around me. And it just makes me better. So I'm very fortunate.
It lifts everything, right?
It does, absolutely.
Right. So now, have you started recording the follow-up to Good Is Gone?
I started writing it, yes. And I'm actually recording this month.
Oh, very cool. Where are you recording at?
Singing Serpent.
Oh, great studio.
I haven't been there, but I only hear great things. So I can't wait.
Now, you're signed to a European label, right?
No, I've been signed to Vistone since 2016.
2016. What, is that a European label or an American label?
No, it's American. It's owned by Bob Margolin, who played guitar with Muddy Waters for many years.
Okay. And how did you connect with them?
Evan actually knew Bob Margolin from recording with him with his mom, Candy. And we reached out to him after we made our live record. And, we wanted it to get worldwide, attention if it could, because it was just such a great, fun live record.
It is.
And thank you. And he liked it. He ended up liking it and saying that he couldn't stop listening to it. And he was walking his dogs listening to it. And so I got picked up by Vistone, and it's been a really good partnership so far.
Excellent. So now, blues has been around for, basically a century now. What do you think still draws people to that? I mean, if you look at the clubs, for example, downtown that play blues, they're packed.
Right.
So what do you think is still drawing the people in on that?
I just think the raw and realness of it. I think that especially nowadays, there's so much just fakeness out in the world and people just putting on a mask that I think that people are craving something real. So I think the blues is always going to have a place in this world.
Who's influenced you as a blues artist? Or are there people that aren't blues artists that have influenced you?
I could go on and on and on. When I was young, I started listening to Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday. And then when I got older, I started to listen to, Aretha Franklin and Etta James. And that then went into, the Allman Brothers and Led Zeppelin and to like Journey to everything. I mean, I really listen to everything. And I'm a huge music lover.
What's the strangest thing that's happened to you on stage when you've been playing? Now, you play a lot of interesting places.
I don't know. It's always kind of strange when you're playing and you have somebody in the audience like singing louder than you or playing their they bring out their harmonica
Really?
and they start playing with the band and you don't know them. It's not like a friend of yours or anything. It's just some fan and you're like, oh, okay, I guess you're part of the band now. All right. That's always kind of strange.
Does that happen often?
More often than you would think.
Well, you figure it this way: better a harmonica than a tuba, right? Because
of course,
can really throw the show off. So now, Casey, what do you have planned for the next year? I mean, you've got the Music Awards on August 24th at Humphreys.
Yes.
So you guys, by the way, you can vote in the Music Awards once a day.
Yes.
through, I think, the end of July. So if you want to vote for Casey, that'd be wonderful. But there's all kinds of other categories as well. So please vote and vote often.
Yes. And
So-
we are nominated for Best Blues and Album of the Year.
Album of the Year. Categories well deserved for you both.
Thank you very much.
Casey, thank you so much for coming out. Casey's and the band are going to play a song. The title track off the new album, Good Is Gone, nominated for a San Diego Music Award this year. Thank you, Casey.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, and welcome back to Music Scene SDTV. We're doing the cool stuff section right now, the segment where we spotlight memorabilia, collectibles, reissues, that sort of thing. This time out, we're going to be looking at some actual music gear, guitar music gear, and we've got Professor Mike Ruggiero from Theory Thursday show. He's studied for 45 years at some of the greatest electronic colleges in the world. He was once the head of the student council at Zootopia. So, Mike, tell us a little bit about this new device you have to show us.
Bart, thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to let some of us know that in the last 20 years, these wireless devices have come a long way. They're also very affordable. I'm holding the transmitter right now, available on Amazon for $39.99. The name of this particular company is called Guitarra. So if you were to search Guitarra in the Amazon box, you will come across the $40 model and a $70 model and I think a $120 model. So what's really, really exciting, guys, is that, I teach every day and I like to walk around the students with my guitar. This is the receiver. This is the transmitter. Actually, is that right? Or is this the transmitter and that's the receiver? This is the receiver, this is the transmitter. And you can tell they're very sleek. They move around like this. What's the adjective I'm looking for, Mr. Bart? Because I'm just a guitar player. You're the wordsmith.
Yeah, no, it's just...
What does this mean?
It pivots.
It pivots. Thank you very much. So whether you have a Les Paul or a Strat or an offset guitar, you can, contour it because some of us get photographed, I always believe when I see a tuner on the headstock, it ruins the photograph. So, just more aesthetically pleasing and affordable, made by Guitarra, and I can walk around freely. And it frees you up. There's no cable. I'm Mike Ruggiero of Gadget Corner, and we'll see you next time with more affordable items.
This is Bart Mendoza, and as you just mentioned, Professor Mike Ruggiero from Theory Thursday. We're showcasing a brand new gadget here, and we want to thank you so much for watching not only Cool Stuff in Gadget Corner, but Music Scene SDTV. Cheers. Hello and welcome back to Music Scene SDTV. We're here with Casey Hensley, who's going to be performing the title track from her SDMA-nominated album, Good Is Gone. Thank you, Casey.
Why came the realization today, babe? I had an epiphany. Good about when you spoke to me. He said, "Get out, girl. He never gonna cheat." My way, you never hear what I say. So I'm good as God. I'm good as God. I'm good as God. I'm good as God. I'm good as gone, 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 gone.
everybody. Casey Hensley, thank you so much.
Thank you.
August 24th, San Diego Music Awards. She's up for the best blues. Cheers.